so sorry about the whispering. I lost my voice. It's ironic to lose your voice during Leo season, but I have been roaring. I can't lie. I have been, by turns, intensely angry, sad, confused, but more than anything, fed up. And I realize that when I'm fed up, you can hear it in my voice. I can't hide it. So there has been a preponderance of shouting and yelling over the past few weeks. Rage. So, here we are. I have raged. I have finished raging. And in the process, I have strained my vocal cords. So, since you have been asking me, and rightfully so, for a very long time, to get a damn microphone, I decided to get one. And now that I have it, well, I had it for a while, I couldn't figure out how to use it. Now that I asked my nephews and my son to figure out how to do it for me, I don't think I'll go back. I love it. We won't be whispering for the rest of time, but it is quite nice, I have to say, to be forced to have people lean in to hear you. When you have a big voice, Cancer, it can be really easy. It's going to sound counterintuitive, but when you have a big voice, it can be easy to get lost in the cacophony of sounds and the chaos that is our lives. Quiescy, I have noticed, and obviously you know how important quiet is to me. Look at the name of the channel. Quiescy for me has always denoted things like extreme wealth, extreme self-confidence, very high self-esteem. Because for someone to be quiet means that they are taking for granted that you will lean in to hear what they have to say. And so I have been forced to cultivate that within myself, and I'm really enjoying it. It's odd, at times really frustrating, but I have a tendency not to dwell on the things I don't like about something. I will find a way to make this fun. Like, I find a way to make everything fun. So get ready for some ASR astrology updates, and then we'll, shuffle some cards. So first up, let's talk about the astrology, because I can't shuffle and talk at the same time. Alright. Cancer. You're not going to want to hear this, and as a Cancer rising, I didn't want to hear it. And when I wrote it down, I was like, fuck. You know the 8 days you've had being inside in August, and you thought you were going to get away with it? It's over. You need to go outside. I know you don't want to. I know it's so much better when somebody you love drags you outside, but you gotta go outside. It doesn't matter if you're with someone or not with someone, you gotta go outside. You have to go outside. It is incumbent on your mental health, bitch. You need to go outside. You need to spend some time around other people. If you are single, this is going to do wonders for your love life. Just trust me, even if you're just picking up your face and going downtown with no plan or whatever, coming back with like a bouquet of flowers or some shit, or like heading off to like Staples or a stationery store. In New York we got stationery stores, which are dope. It's one of my favorite places in the world, is a stationery store. Whatever, man, just go outside, go do something. You don't have to do stuff with people if you don't want to. Even better if you're with your friends. Even better if you like somebody. But if none of that is an option, it doesn't matter. Still, go outside. Just go outside. You don't have to do anything. Now, one of the things that's going to make this very easy is if you get into a schedule where you're waking up every morning a little bit earlier than everybody else and doing the few things that you know you like to do that make you feel like you are a shining light when you step out of the house. Please do those understand waiting at the fountain, baby, but the fountain is also outside. We gotta be outside, okay? Okay, I'll leave it alone now, but we gotta be outside. That's it. Now, one of the things that changes drastically for you from now until mid-September is that along with the feeling that people give you, of course you're still a sucker for the feelings, but there's this other thing growing in you, like you want that intellectual stimulation as well. You want to feel that this person can follow your train of thought, that they can actually keep up in a conversation with you without you having to baby them or throw them the right cues. You know what I'm talking about? This becomes so important to you all of a sudden, and it's kind of weird, right? Because you find yourself thinking, like, why didn't I care about this before? Like, why was it not important to me if this person was my intellectual equal? Like, a month ago I liked this person just because of the pure heat, and now I'm thinking, like, could I take them to a parent-teacher conference? Could I introduce them to my fucking cousins who are PhDs, or my brother who's a PhD, mashallah? Like, could this person hang intellectually with me and mine? In a lot of instances, you're gonna decide no, and you're gonna find yourself doing something that I don't think you ever thought you would do, which is putting your feelings aside and going, you know, you might not be for me. Now, the funny thing, Cancer, is that you never be saying shit like this. You're never the person who lays it out that clear and says, you know what, no hard feelings, you're just not for me. But, bitch, when you do it, the way these people spin, I mean, people try to start, like, act like they solid, like Mount Rushmore will start spinning and crumbling because their entire facade of stability and grounding is built on the fact that someone like you would never tell them that they're not for you. And here you are saying, you know what, you're not for me. There's nothing wrong with you. It's not a big deal. You're just not for me. The way these people, these grounded people, will start to spin, oh my god, it's a comedy, okay? It's a movie and it's a comedy. It's a tragic comedy for them. It's just a comedy for us. It's a rom-com for us and a tragic comedy for them. And I think that we rather prefer that. Now, if you are with a partner, it's still really fucking important that you go outside, because the two of you will drive each other crazy. And I'm gonna tell you something else, and please don't get mad at me because I'm a Cancer rising. So before you bring the bullshit over here, please don't get mad at me. You be getting boring. You be boring sometimes when you stay your ass inside all the time. You be boring. I know, and it's not a big deal. Especially we could just fix the problem by fucking leaving your house. But maybe if I tell it to you like that, you won't get mad at your partner when they start to act bored, when you don't want to do anything for the last month of the summer. Now, can you tell that I've gotten this lecture? I'm getting this lecture a lot lately. You don't want to come outside, but we need to go outside. Babe, if you come outside, then I go... Listen, I gotta go all the way to Brooklyn, so whatever you gotta deal with, is you're still luckier than me. Now, nothing against Brooklyn. I love Brooklyn. Okay, I love everybody from Brooklyn. I'm a fan of Brooklyn. I'm just saying, most of y'all don't have to deal with what I gotta deal with, but you still need to go outside. You're lucky though. You're lucky because you don't gotta go to Flatbush. Anyway, okay. Not that I don't like Flatbush. I love Flatbush. Forget it. Okay. Now, see, I just did it. Now I'm gonna tell you what not to do. If you're not sure, don't fucking say anything. There's two types of people that we separate into from mid-August to mid-September when it comes to Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, Cancer Rising. Either you know what the fuck you're talking about or you don't. If you don't know what you're talking about and you make the mistake of being is your social circle. Things are going to move fast, Cancer, because our karma is like immediately back on us. If you know that what you are saying is not true, shut up. You have to stop talking, because this is not like every other time. Someone is gonna nail you to a wall if you don't cut it out with the bullshit. See, if you were outside, you'd be minding your business. No big ticket items, no schemes, no trying to scam on somebody else's money, no trying to take money or food out of somebody else's pocket. I'm looking at you, Cancer risings now, and go, yo, if you try to mess with somebody's money, whether you think they deserve it or not, if you do some shit where you try to pocket watch somebody else or get in between their relationship with their money, the way this karma is gonna flip on you and take your blessings for you. I'll tell you like this is the best of months or the worst of months for Cancers, depending on how you decide that you want to play your karma out. If you have decided, oh, everyone's getting theirs, I'm gonna get mine, you're gonna get hit real hard by that bus called fate. If you decide it doesn't matter what's going on out here, I'm a good person, I know what's for me is for me, you'll be just fine. But as soon as you try to put your hands, your eyes, your thoughts on anybody else's anything, and there's hasad, envy, jealousy, that's it. The way this universe is gonna pay you back, like right away. Like, oh, you thought that you could put rocks in somebody else's path and that it wouldn't, and that they wouldn't trip you, and then all those rocks are gonna end up right in front of you. Like my mother always says, and it applies to Cancers so deeply right now, whenever you dig a grave for somebody, you fall in it yourself. Be careful, do no fucking digging. Don't negotiate. Don't say a word. Don't say a word. Just listen and watch until after Mercury retrograde, and the retrograde don't even start until the 23rd. That's the same day that the sun is going to move into Virgo. Mercury, which is in Virgo, is going to go retrograde in Virgo, and it's going to last until September. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. I wouldn't say anything now. Even though we have, 20 days or something, I wouldn't say anything now. Just don't say anything. Anyone who wants to negotiate, anyone who wants to tussle, anyone who wants to do it, the only person you should be talking to, bitch, is your lawyer. If you want to talk to anybody, talk to your lawyer. Don't talk to anybody about anything, no matter what they want from you. Tell them to park it, because you are not in a space right now to deal with it, and you will get back to them when you are ready. And that's it. Okay, it's a way to also just hedge your bets, because things are so crazy and people are so full of shit right now that if you don't talk but you let them talk, they're gonna hang themselves. Now, if you already went ahead and ran your mouth for the past 6-7 days and you're swinging now, I don't know what to tell you about that, but this energy is not even supposed to catch up with us for another week, so you ahead of the game. Climb down slowly and stop talking about people. Do what you can to use your voice. The irony. Bro, whether it's whispering, yelling, screaming, standing up for the oppressed, standing up for the dejected, standing up for the ones in despair, whatever it is, whatever you feel you can do to add your voice to something that you genuinely think is positive and uplifting, do it. You gotta whisper. You can shout, but use your voice. It's the best way to be right now. Use your voice for that instead of any of this other bullshit, get rich quick schemes and plotting on other people, gossiping about it. Don't do that. Work on your own shit. Use your voice. Balance out your karma. Do good, say good for other people. Bring awareness to things and people that can't pay you back. You know what I mean? In this age of social media, there's so much good that you can do for people who can never help you or never do anything back for you. But your karma will be affected the same way as if you were physically doing something for somebody. You could do that shit virtually now. You like fucking racking up virtual karma points. Go ahead and do it. It doesn't cost you nothing. Now, that Mercury retrograde for us is really say not too tight with the clothing. Be careful with what you're eating. Be careful, just your gut, how your gut is doing. Watch yourself. Don't eat anything stupid. Don't go anywhere with stupid people. Don't, you already know that bitch you can't go drinking with. That bitch you can't travel with. That bitch you can't go across the street with. This bitch you can't even introduce to your man. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb, because when I say accidents, I don't just mean physical. Just accident prone. So just keep that in mind. Next. Keep to your work and don't dive into fantasy. So, a lot of times, Cancers don't get a lot done because they just fall into this world of fantasy when they should be on a roll. It is akin to ADHD in that the executive function disappears once the emotions take over. Keep your emotions to the side. I'm gonna tell you every month of the fucking year for the rest of your life. Warren Buffett said, if you can't control your fucking emotions, you can't control your fucking money. He didn't say it like that, but you know what I'm saying. Money is emotional. We've talked about this and talked about this and talked about this, and we're gonna keep talking about it because it is the key and the seat of your personal power. When your finances, when your job, when your love of life all come together and make something real, do not waste that on clothes and bullshit and makeup and all the things that you think you need to make yourself feel better about who you are. What you need is a fat bank account. Okay, that's what's actually gonna put that pep in your step and that steel in your spine. Not that new pressed powder. Trust me, press powder these nuts. Okay, none of that shit helps you the way having a secure bank account does. So focus on your work and do not let yourself slip into fantasy because you get frustrated, because your emotions take over, because you need love, because you're lonely, because you're hungry, because you're sleepy, because you're thirsty. Because, with us, it could be anything. It really could be anything. You have to make a concerted effort. If that means that you put a big piece of paper on your fridge or on your bathroom mirror, this is every day from this hour to this hour, I'm just going to focus, then do it like that. But don't let yourself degenerate right now into a state of just pure fantasy where you're not getting anything done. It doesn't matter how stressful things are. It doesn't matter how painful things are. They will only hurt more if you don't get to work. So get to work. Okay, now, keeping yourself grounded makes handling money much easier. So, this is what I'm talking about. When your emotions are grounded, it is really easy to tell where spending is out of control, why spending is out of control, and what can be done to bring you back to level. When your head is a mess, when you feel overly emotional, then it's very, very difficult to have any idea of what financial or fiscal responsibility is, because you're too hurt, you're in too much pain, you just want to feel better. It's a very natural human emotion, huh? There's nothing wrong with it. It's just what it is. But you have to be able to see that it directly affects your bank account when your feelings aren't level, and when you allow that lack of homeostasis level over here to touch your money. Don't handle your money when you're sad, when you're upset. Don't buy nothing. Just make it a rule. Don't buy nothing when you're sad or upset. Don't use anything that money can buy to make you feel better about how you feel right now, because it is a temporary high. It is not going to work. And that age-old adage is true. Money doesn't make you happy. Things don't make you happy. And even the thrill of buying something only lasts for a few seconds before you go right back down to the same hormonal profile, brain chemistry profile that you've been having for years. Okay, so there are ways to truly change our mindset. We talk a lot about psychocybernetics on the podcast. We talk about different ways to reset your brain. I'm actually working on a workbook thing that you can use right now that you'll be able to download. But until then, those deeper settings that need to be changed, that's the work. But until then, having the awareness that those settings are there and that they make you run from emotions you don't want to feel straight to spending money, that Hi, Cancer. Welcome to the card party reading. This is not the extended. This is just me not shuffling on camera. My voice is doing slightly better. For all of you who are very upset that you have not received your reading yet, I don't mean you, Cancers, I mean everybody else. I'm so very sorry that I lost my voice. I apologize. It's my fault. And I will try to not let it happen again. Thank you for being so understanding. All right, first up, we have the Seven of Wands. The kind of winning that we get to experience now is, in a lot of ways, a winning that we didn't think would happen. Yeah, the bad luck period is over, especially for Cancer risings. We thought everything was just going to be on an upswing right away. Yes, now I win. And then the fatigue sets in. Like, why am I not winning in proportion to how much I've lost over the past 7 years? Why doesn't this winning feel satisfying? Like, I thought this winning would come with a lot of power. And there's somebody in your life. It could be your mom. It could be an authority figure. It could be a professor. It could be a boss. But there was something about the decisions you've made in the past few months that you really wished would put your value and worth in perspective for this particular person who has quite a lot of sway in your mental space, not necessarily in your life. They're not necessarily paying your bills or, have like direct control of your life, but their opinion of you matters like way too much, right? So you do a lot to impress this person, to make sure that this person thinks that you're succeeding. And quite unexpectedly at this time, when you may have given up on the idea of being able to prove something to this person, or the ghost of this person, even, you've fatigued yourself with this searching for winning. And when you've mentally given up and you've said, well, maybe this 7 years of bad luck continues for me. Maybe it's gone for everybody else, but maybe it continues for me. When you've resigned yourself to the fact that perhaps nothing is going to be that different, things start to move and change. And you realize that whatever affirmation or approval you were looking for from this person, or from what this person represents, right? For a lot of us, our mothers represent like culture, the society we were raised in, etc. We realize that with the dissolution of that dream, like, I wanted you to be so proud of me. I wanted you to accept me in every way. I wanted to win. But because I didn't get to, the things that I associate with you are also dissolving. And perhaps, Cancer, for us, what we don't realize sometimes is that these social norms and these societal rules that we live by, they have more of a sway over us than we would like to admit. And we are more caged and hedged in by them than we ever like to admit to ourselves, let alone anybody else. And ironically, I don't think we ever considered that just not caring what this person thought would also bring with it this larger destruction of these norms that actually were barriers for us. They were actually holding us back. The way we think things should be and the way we think things need to present for this person to be happy with us was never the right road, and it was never going to bring us the fulfillment that we wanted. Ironically, bucking all of this and everything associated with this energy is what opens the door and actually leads to perhaps an unconventional excuse me I'm still wildly sick perhaps an unconventional but deeply satisfying connection, friendship, romance. Because of the way things are looking at the moment, I would say it's romance.
But if you're in a committed relationship and you're not really looking for that, this can manifest itself as just a really satisfying friendship, a new connection of any kind, really. You got a new pet, something that like really touches your heart and makes you realize that that one path that perhaps this person set out for you, or that you decided was the way to make this person proud, is not the path. Actually, you are able and you are capable, and actually deep inside you want to walk a new path. Okay? So these are some deep realizations for you to have, because you're not necessarily the one that likes to roll with the punches and, just enact deep change. Surface changes maybe, but those deep changes are something that you let happen within you, and it takes a really long time. It's very rare that it's a deliberate thing. But I think we've become so impatient with what we thought we were supposed to get that we're not above now taking things into our own hands and saying, I need a new direction. And I've tried my hardest to make you happy, proud, love me, accept my work, accept what I do. You just don't. And I can't pander to that anymore. And as soon as I move away from pandering that, this society that I've been so afraid of, that I've kind of hid behind you until I could build myself up to be accepted, this society that I've been so insecure about actually shows up for me. And the connection is real. And I'm able to feel a part of something that I thought I couldn't feel until I was XYZ, until I was good enough. Of course, this is very much mirroring the language that we use with ourselves when we talk about romance. We know from a lot of pop psychology that we can only meet people where they are. Our connections can only be as deep as we are. But as Cancerians, I think sometimes we think that by default we're always the deep one. And that there's no there's nobody that can match us in that. We don't have to do any work in that arena. We're caught up in all the work in that arena is kind of our haughty take on relationships. We've done all the emotional heavy lifting. We don't need to go back and reassess how we heavy lift or how we are in relationships. That's just not true. I think it's really interesting that mid-August to mid-September, so much of how you actually are in relationships and in connections is revealed not to anybody else but to you. And you begin to clearly see that perhaps this search for affirmation goes so much deeper than just work and success and money and society and acceptance. It actually has made a huge impact, kind of secret impact, but even more powerful because it's sublimated impact on your love life and how you interact with people in a romantic setting. Add to this that you have Mercury going retrograde in Virgo, and it makes for a pretty pensive, serious time when it comes to you reassessing yourself and reassessing, during this Venus retrograde, your relationship to the nature of love, period, not just love between you and people, but a more existential question, a more philosophical question. What is this thing that defines us as people, our ability or inability to love, and where do I fall on the spectrum of, loving and being lovable? And what have I done to push myself one way or another on that sliding scale? And how do I keep myself level, knowing who I am and knowing how I can be? How do I reconcile that with the fact that I no longer want to pretend that I like being alone? I no longer want to pretend that there aren't people who being with them is worse than being alone. I would like to be up and up about the things that go on in my head about relationships, how scared I might feel, how vulnerable, how dangerous it feels to let somebody into your heart, into your life. More attention here now being paid to the Mercury retrograde. So the thing with the retrograde in Virgo is a Mercury ruled sign. The thing with Mercury going retrograde in Virgo is that you may feel it backfire on you a little here and there, like you'll make very good progress and you're moving into the future. You're being really open and honest and loving with yourself and accepting how you are, what you think, as Venus retrograde reveals to you how you feel about the nature of love and what is your particular definition of that word, of that feeling. During this time, you're also being pulled by Mercury retrograde in Virgo to stay the way you are in a lot of ways, to not venture out, to be, more stodgy, if you will. And your ego, I guess is the best way to put it, has to be stronger than that. Your ego has to kind of pipe up and say, we don't want to play the martyr. We want to flex. We want to make money. We want to have fun. We want to win. And just because we no longer seek the approval of, we want to work hard and win, just because we're no longer seeking the approval of this Queen of Wands doesn't mean that we don't want to work just as hard or just as sweet. And it also doesn't mean that we no longer get the things that were meant for us. Just because you break away from one person who may have the resources, the power, whatever, to help you, doesn't mean that you can't on your own recreate something quite wonderful. And the world is here at your fingertips, so yeah. It makes sense. As long as you're working for somebody else, even if you're just working for their approval, you're building somebody else's dream. You're building somebody else's self-esteem. But when you focus all of that hard work and grit and sweat and tears on yourself, and not even on your lover, your permanent person, your whomever, just on yourself, really thinking about these quite complicated subjects. The retrograde makes you want to be really contemplative, and the Strength card is like, but not right now. Right now we need to go party. I don't know what to tell you. You can think about this shit when you get home. At the same time, trying so hard to win the approval of, or the mother of, or whatever that is, only to turn around and do a 180 and say, I'm going to pay for everything myself. I'm going to do everything for myself. I will meet new people. I will connect with new people. And the world is my oyster. Yes? Well, I hope you enjoyed this part of looking at the cards. I'm going to see you in the extended in just a minute. Cancer, I love you. I'll be right back.